Hey everyone, welcome to GrowingCraft and I hope you all are doing good. So welcome back to my channel, and today what we are going to do are these amazing 3D box envelopes, the Shagun envelopes which we use in India for the Indian weddings. Now these are the multi-purpose envelopes which we'll be making, which you can use for your 3D cards, mixed media cards, or even for your gifting purpose. Each of these boxes have a different lock, different mechanism, and the tutorial is super interesting, and I hope you will like it. So let's get started with this tutorial and learn how to make these. But meanwhile, please do not forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon so that you guys do not miss out any of our updates. Now, you have already seen the base making of these boxes in our previous video. I'll post the link in the description box. Now, to make the band, the locking system for this, the cardstock size, what I have taken here is in inches, it is 11 inches by 2.5 inches. So once we are exact, like we have the exact measurements, it's time to score it. Now we are going to create a band. So for that, we need to score here at a margin of 3 inches, 3.5 inches, 7 inches, and 7.5 inches. Now this is a very simple measurement. It's very easy to score, and once you're done with your scoring, you have to make sure that you burnish them really well. So this is how my band looks like after the folding work, and now what we are going to do is we are going to mark wherever we are going to have our pattern paper. Now of course we need to stick it to create a band, so on that part we are not going to have any of the pattern papers. So here I'm just making it with a marking that the numbering system 1, 2, 3, 4, so that it's easier for me to cut the pattern papers. Now there is a very simple trick of doing your pattern paper cutting work. We always want our band to look like a one piece of art, and the pattern paper should come in a flow. So here what you can do is always mark the numbers on your page, then mark the numbers even on your pattern papers before cutting, and then start measuring and marking on where to cut the pattern papers. So once this is done, you need to trim to all the margin lines to have the perfect pattern paper size. Now for doing the cutting work, here I'm going to use my paper trimmer. Now this is one of the kind of paper trimmer. I have already done a detailed video on the different kind of paper trimmers available in the market. Do check out that video. I'll be posting the link in the description box. Once I'm done with the trimming work, here what I'm going to do is I'm going to arrange it in a sequence just to see if I have done the cutting work and the margin work properly. This actually saves a lot of time, that when you start gluing your pattern paper to your base, you don't waste your time and like still mix and matching and like trying to arrange the patterns of your pattern paper. Now with the help of a liquid glue, we are going to stick it. So here you need to make sure that the edges are sticked properly. So what I do is I always spread the glue very nicely on my pattern paper, and then only I stick it to my base. Again, it's a very simple technique, but this will make sure that your pattern paper has sticked well and it is not going to come out. Likewise, we are going to stick all the remaining pattern papers. So once our band is ready, it's time to create it around our box. Now before sticking it, I always want to make sure that I have done everything correctly, because if it is too tight, it is not going to get inserted, and if it is too loose, there is no point of having that band. Now here, this is just the perfect size, and I'm happy that I did it correctly. Now what we are going to do is, now we are going to stick it. Now for sticking this, I am going to use two different mediums. One is the tacky glue and the liquid glue. So with the Indian weather, I have realized that the tacky glue doesn't last very longer. So I always make sure that I add my liquid glue too. So here the sticking work is done, the band looks great, but we have to decorate it. So these are the two leftover pattern papers which I have from the same paper collection which I have used for the envelope and the band. And these are the two metal dies which I'm going to use and create beautiful dies. Now creating your dies, your beautiful die cuts is super fun. I have already done a video on that. I will share that link in the description box too. Now we have added just the plain cardstock behind this. Now the reason for this is to add a little more strength to your pattern papers. So I always use a thick cardstock. So this particular one is around 300 GSM cardstock, and the shade is similar to my cardstock base for the envelope, and this will add a little more strength to my die cuts. Then we are going to decorate our band. Now for sticking these to our band, I am going to use my glue drops. We get this locally in India, and it's absolutely super easy to manage. You don't have to do too much of thing. Just peel it off, stick it, and you're done. No drying time, nothing. This saves a lot of time, and just to add a little more strength, I always use my liquid glue. Now here again, while sticking, I'll try to match up the pattern as much as I can. But again, it's a band, so it might be just shifting here and there, so it's absolutely okay. Just matching the line so that it looks like a one piece of art. And again here, I'm going to use my glue drops. So if you don't have the glue drops, you can use your tacky tapes, or even just a liquid glue is also fine. But I personally love adding 3D glue drops because it adds a tinge of 3D effect to my base. Now similarly, I have even had this beautiful butterfly die cut. The process was same. I'll post the video in the link video in the description box for the how to make your own die cuts, and you can check this out. So here with this, my first band is ready, and this is looking so absolutely gorgeous. Now these are just perfect to create a band for your envelopes, for your boxes, and they look super gorgeous. Let's create another design with the same beautiful die cutting technique. So here what I have done is I have taken a die cut, and of course I have done it on my pattern paper and of course on my cardstock. Now this is an intricate design, and I really love this. This gives so much of festive season and your wedding season feel, and I thought this is going to match with my box really well. So here in this, we are going to glow with the same color pattern paper. I'm not doing any contrast because this one gives a very different look. Now here with the help of a liquid glue, I'm sticking both my die cuts very nicely. Like I said, it's an intricate design, so I had to make sure that I glue them up really well. Now this hardly takes any time to dry out. It's just that you need to make sure that you stick them really well. And the leftover piece what I had of this one, I am going to use this too. You can use your foam tape or glue gun or even your glue drop just to add a little dimension while sticking it. So this is the pink box envelope again with the magnetic lock which we have done. This is a beautiful shade. I absolutely love this neon shade, and I thought of adding the similar kind of pattern but with a little contrast of die cutting work so that it highlights my design. So here adding some liquid glue just to make sure that it sticks really well to my base, and you just have to add few drops of glue and this will be good to go. So this is already looking so different. See, the pattern paper is same, but just because it's a die cut, the feel of the die cut and the design is so different. Now to add these cute little the circular part which was there with the die cut, here I'm using my glue drops to add a little dimension to it. And here my beautiful second design of my envelope is done, and this is looking so simple, so pretty and so beautiful. Now here comes my third and my most favorite part. So for this we are taking up a cardstock of 5 inches by 2.5 inches, and here we are going to score at 2.75 inches and 3.5 inches. So this is the band which we are going to create. This is just a small patch we are going to have with the magnetic lock. So here what you need to do is take up the pattern paper or the cardstock, score it, and then we have to burnish it really well because this is going to be the folded around the envelope. So once this is done, and I already have my beautiful envelope base which is ready. If you have not seen the video, check out my first video. You will see that video where we have done the base making of this envelope making, which is a very simple tutorial and I'm sure you're going to love it. So here I'm just adding my liquid glue. Before making the box, we are going to stick this band so that it's easy for us to add the pattern paper. Now if you're not sure of how and where to stick the band, you can always add a little additional glue like I did, and then you can start sticking it. Once you stick the base, you will see that around you can just literally fold your flap, and that's how your lock is going to be. Now once I'm done with the lock making here, it's time to add our pattern paper. So this is the most important step, and we are going to repeat the same process what we did in our first envelope making. I have already pre-cut the pattern papers, I have already done the numbering, and now it's time just to stick all the pattern papers quickly. Now once we are done with the creating our box, and here is the fun part. So now we will start sticking with our magnet. So here what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that I have the magnet in the center of my base so that it's easy and it has more stability. So here I'm sticking my magnet with my tacky tape, and then we are going to add our pattern paper with the help of a liquid glue. Now whenever you are using a magnet, make sure it's a thin one. So the measurement of my magnet what I'm using here is 5 mm by 1 mm thickness. Now for adding our second magnet, here is a very simple technique. Either you can use your tacky tapes, or what you can do is take up your second magnet, put it on the same magnet where you had used the first one, and just add a dot of liquid glue. This will give you a beautiful margin where exactly you have to stick your magnet. Now here, if you want, you could have done this just before adding the pattern paper, but I wanted to add a new pattern paper design, the die cut on the top of it. That's the reason I'm using my magnet on the top of it. So here, with the help of a tacky tape, I'm going to stick the magnet on my base box also. Now we are going to cover all the portions with the pattern paper. Now here is the fun part, and the fun part is to decorate it with your different and beautiful die cuts. So here what I have done is, instead of using just one single pattern paper for my die cut, I have used two different die cuts and I have just added it together, and this is looking so gorgeous. This is actually going really well with the color contrast what I have done for my box. So added a pattern paper and the cardstock together, and two different pattern papers here I have used, and then here I'm going to stick it on my base. Now for the second magnet, we are going to cover it with a die cut, but we also have to make sure that both the die cuts come into this one single piece, so that you see that lock as a one single piece of art. So here what I'm going to do is, I'm going to align my die cut to the top one die cut, and then we are going to stick it. This is one of the easiest way to have a beautiful multiple locking with a magnetic locking for your box cards, envelopes, and for your Shagun envelopes. Now just adding a few glue drops here and there just to make sure that it has secured really well. And here my third magnetic box is also ready. So these are just perfect for your gifting, for your DIY Diwali gifting or your wedding gifts, and they look absolutely gorgeous. So with this, my tutorial is done. I really hope you guys enjoyed all the 3 tutorials of different kind of lockings what we can do with our Shagun boxes. If you guys have any feedback, please do let me know in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Take care and bye-bye.